We can see it here. It's 172.31.254. So router 3 is going to be the master. There's going to be a heartbeat that goes between them. And if router 4 doesn't see router 3, then it will take over that particular group. And that way, the service is uninterrupted for the PCs. The default gateway has effectively swapped across. They're unaware. They're also unaware in their MAC lookups because it's also spoofing the MAC address. Now, what we're going to do is a couple of tunes on that. Firstly, router 3 is going to be tracking some interfaces, and if those interfaces go down, then its priority will be lowered. That will be indicated in the heartbeat, and router 4 will take over. So basically, it's a dynamic default gateway. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to turn that whole thing on twice, and that's just so we can get the best bandwidth. So basically, half of the workstations, if this was a workstation environment, would be pointing towards one default gateway, which router 3 was master of. Then half of the workstations would be pointing to another default gateway, which router 4 would be master of. And we've done that here by having two different VLANs. So we've got VLAN 200, VLAN 201. Router 3 is master in one VLAN, and router 4 is master in the other VLAN. So we've got two groups. We've got one group on each VLAN, but you can really play around with this. You can have multiple groups on a single VLAN, but that's how we're doing this here. It's for load sharing. The configuration commands are really quite simple. Here we have VRRP group 1. We have the virtual address that's going to be shared. We have the priority, authentication, and the tracking. The priority by default is set to 100. What we've done is we've preloaded this a little higher to 150. High is the best in VRRP. By preloading it to 150 means we can decrement 30 if each of these interfaces go down that we're tracking. That will bring it to lower than 150, take it down to 90, and at 90, router 4, here in the green, would take over. And the other way around, we've set router 4 on VRRP2 as master. It's set to 150, it's tracking two interfaces, the decrement is 30, it's the inverse of it. And that's really pretty much where it is. We're service provider, not data center. There are other ways to do this in the data center today. So we haven't gone crazy on the tuning here. You can, but this is a relatively simple protocol to control that redundancy of the default gateway or a default route. So this could be a router using a default route, but it's basically taking the place of the dynamics you would normally be getting from a routing protocol.